Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. I am Brimilda, and I just want to share or have a few quick tips for you regarding caring for your sister locks and to minimize thinning and potentially breakage. So number one for me would be alternating the sides of the head that we sleep on, because what I found especially in the beginning was I am a left side sleeper. I am so cozy and comfortable on my left hand side, and so I always sleep on my left. But what I found is, especially the hair sort of here towards the nape, when I retighten them, they seem thinner than the side. And so what I've realized is that I had to alternate the sides that I sleep on. And I know sometimes it's difficult, especially when you're in sleep, you don't really sort of take notice on what you do. But I've made a conscious decision to fall asleep on my right hand side instead of on my left hand side. So if I do switch over on my left hand side, it's not too bad. And I always sort of just try to remember, to alternate sides. So that is the one thing that I would say. The second thing I've also found with not just sleeping on the same side of your head, the right hand side, the locks seem to settle quicker. So the side that I don't sleep on, the locks are more settled than the left hand side. So that was also one thing that I've noticed, and that's also why I started alternating the sides of my head that I sleep on. And the second thing to minimize thinning of the hair and potentially breakage is to alternate the paths. When we get our hair retightened, we usually take like a side path or a middle path or whatever it is. And for me, I used to wear my side path like over here. Don't know if you can see that very clearly. So I used to have my side path over here, and then I've realized, it's thinning a little bit over there, let me move it, and now I've been wearing it this side. So what I do is I alternate my side path, so the way I get it retightened. And in the very beginning, I just used to wear my hair to the back, so everything like that to the back instead of having a side path. And what I find is, even if you do have a path, like a side path, you could always just within say 2 weeks of after getting your hair retightened, you could change it, because now the new growth have loosened up a little bit, so you could change your paths around. But that's what I found, to not retighten your hair using the same sort of side path. It is important to alternate the paths just to minimize thinning of that side of your head. And number two, it's not so much about breakage as it is about frailing. So I have a pillowcase, silk pillowcases, and I have a silk scarf. And most of the times I use my silk scarf, but sometimes I'm just a bit like lazy, like really tired, and I forget, and then I just end up sleeping on my pillowcases. And what I find is my hair frails a whole lot more when I don't use my silk scarf, because there is more friction, when you don't have anything sort of keeping everything tight together and it can't move and it's just there. As in when it's loose and you're sleeping on your pillowcase, I find that there's a lot more friction going on, which result in a lot more frailing. And those are just the things that I've noticed. And that also, it just also makes your locks look a bit, more kept, if that makes sense. Because I don't like the crazy frailing look anyway. I like it to look, sort of organized, situated, and that's why I do sleep with my silk scarf. Well, that's why I prefer a silk scarf than just sleeping on my pillowcase. So those were really the sort of 4 things that I wanted to just come and share with you. Just a few tips to minimize thinning, frailing, and breakage of the hair. So just to recap, number 1 is to, what was number 1? So number 1 is to alternate when you do your retightening. So don't just do it sort of don't just always have, the one or the same side path. Alternate the pathings when you retighten your hair. Number 2 is to alternate the sides of your head that you sleep on to minimize thinning, which might lead to breakage, which we absolutely do not want. And number 3 is to always remember to wear your silk scarf to bed rather than just sleeping on your silk pillowcases, if you want to minimize frailing and the frizzy look that you get, because that's what I find. It gives me like a more of a frizzy look to my locks. Whereas if you wear your silk scarf, it just keeps everything together and there's less friction. And so therefore the hairs, you know, won't rub as much and it will look more sort of kept. And also what I've noticed, as I said before, is the side of the hair that I don't sleep on, the lace seems to settle a lot quicker than the side that I do sleep on. So it's important to alternate. And I know it's difficult, but if you make a conscious decision or a choice to fall asleep on the side that we won't usually fall asleep on, you know, that should help a little bit. So I hope that was helpful. And I know sometimes it just seems like obvious things, you know, that we do know, but I always say you can't know without knowing. Like, you know, if you don't know, then how are you gonna change it? And I know it might sound like really obvious things, but hopefully some of you have found it useful. And I'm so excited because my 6-month lock anniversary is coming up, and oh my god, I have made so much of progress. It is ridiculous. My hair at the back is almost all completely locked, but you know what, I'll save that for next week. I'll save it for next week, and we'll have a full like 6-month update, and I'll just go through the changes and what I've experienced. Because if you guys don't know already, this is my second Sister Locks journey. So yeah, I'm just excited to, you know, to share those with you. It is Easter Sunday at the moment, and I hope you guys have had a lovely Easter weekend so far, and that you're enjoying your Sunday, and that you have a really good family day tomorrow, Easter Monday. And I look forward to chatting with you guys real soon. Keep well until then. Bye bye now.